you have options. You can interview with multiple airlines and you don't have to just sit and hope that anybody will call you.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, welcome back to Ready for Pushback. It's Nick Fialka, and this is another solo episode. It's just me and you. We're chatting, and today we're talking about CJOs. What's a CJO, you may ask? Well, maybe you're not asking that, but if you are asking that, I want to let you know that a CJO stands for a Conditional Job Offer. A conditional job offer is something that happens that you receive if you crush your interview. If you go interview with an airline and they like what you have to say and you answer those things well because you worked with Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting and you were polished and you were ready to go and you showed up on the day of your interview and you performed to the top of what you had the capability to do, they reward you with a conditional job offer. And it's either an email or a piece of paper that says something to the effect of, congratulations, we would like to extend a job offer to you at XYZ Airline. And the reason it is conditional is because you have to meet some more wickets. It is contingent on you passing a few more things. And this is very interesting. It's not a whole lot of things. You got to pass a drug test. They got to do the pre-check on you, make sure that the things are legit that you told them. They are going to do a deeper dive on a background check, more than likely, to make sure you are representing yourself properly and that you did not lie about arrests or tickets or whatever, espionage or whatever you're doing. And it's also conditional on the fact that maybe the economy has to hold up too. I have a dear friend who interviewed at Southwest Airlines back in September of 2001, at the very beginning, September of 2001. And he got a conditional job offer and it was really awesome. He was very excited and he was a military pilot. So he was planning on leaving the military, already had everything lined up. And then on a Tuesday morning at about 10 a.m. on September 11th, 2001, the biggest terrorist attack in the United States history happened, and the airlines essentially unraveled in the following months, and people stopped flying, and things, basically the sky was falling in the aviation community. And they essentially, I don't want to say they rescinded, somebody from Southwest is going to call me and be upset, but they paused his hire date. They did not bring him in. And I don't want to say they rescinded his conditional job offer because I don't know if they did that or not, but he certainly did not start and he had to make a decision and went back to the military and finished his military career and currently flies at Southwest. He retired after, he spent another 12 years in the military after that and got back into Southwest. He's very happy and thankful to be flying there. But his conditional job offer, right, is not a guarantee. And that is what I want you to understand today. And people, you can certainly have that thing rescinded if something happens where they find out you were dishonest or did not represent yourself fully, or something happens economically, something like that. Another thing that people want to talk about is what happens when you get more than one. How do you manage getting multiple job offers? You might interview at 3 or 4 or 5 different companies, and then you get job offers at each one. Maybe you're dead set on the fact that this one airline is your dream airline. It's the one you want, and it's the thing that you've been aiming for your whole career, and it's the only one you could ever imagine having. And so that's the prettiest, most best idea ever. And you get a conditional job offer to that company. Should you go ahead and just send emails telling everybody thanks but no thanks that gave you the other conditional job offers, or should you do something else? And I want to talk about that a little bit. All the airlines know that right now it is a pilot's market. The pilots have more advantage in the hiring community because of the need for pilots. And that has not always been the case. And it will not always be the case. But at this snapshot in time, you have options. You can interview with multiple airlines and you don't have to just sit and hope that anybody will call you, right? And it's an interesting time. So more than likely, the opportunity for you to get multiple conditional job offers exists. And so the airlines and the HR teams, the pilot selection teams are focused on making sure that you have a good experience and that they show off the best parts of their company. And they want to show off those best parts of the company so that you would be more likely to choose to come to them because they have a target number of pilots that they are trying to hire so that they can keep the airlines profitable, this, that, and the other. So you go to one and you really have a good time and it's a great experience. And you get a conditional job offer and you get another and you get another. And then you call me and you talk to me about which one you should choose and find out which one is best for you and your family. And you go down those long paths like you've heard me talk to other people before on coaching calls. And eventually you're going to come across the one that you think fits best for you. And here's where it gets tricky, right? Because you're going to have to say no to some other, maybe one, maybe multiple airlines that you could not even imagine a few years back having to say no. And here's some things I want you to consider. Number one, you don't have a job until you have a job. You are a person who has no decision to make until the decision is at hand. And if you chose to go to one company and you prematurely turned off those other conditional job offers, if something happened, if that company had a mishap that day and they decided not to bring in a new hire class for some reason, then you're screwed because you've already said no to the other ones. So the first thing I want you to think about is get into the company that you are going to first. Whatever airline, if this is your target and you're trying to get in, get a seniority number first before you say thanks and goodbye to the other airlines. Another thing to consider is the thing I want you to think about is if something were to happen and you don't yet have a seniority number, you want to be able to pivot, just like we chatted about. But then once you do and you've got this seniority number, it's time to send a nice email and to reach out. And I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter. There's no honor among thieves. Send a nice email, send it well written, send it very articulate, and thank them for the opportunity that you are going to have to defer the conditional job offer, but you look forward to the possibility of working with them again in the future. And thank you for all of those opportunities, because you don't want to burn a bridge, but you do have to say no gracefully and tactfully, because you never know when you're going to be back in the environment to where maybe you need a job again. I have talked to multiple people who have not been successful at training and had to kind of start again at block number one to try to reorganize once they were let go for not being successful at training. It's very sad. It's very difficult to manage, but it can be done, and it has been done. And so you might need to rely back again on those conditional job offers because they're not put out lightly. And so the more tact and the more grace you handle that with, the better off you're going to be. And it's a small aviation community. You never know when things are going to come back around and bite you in the tail. So be cool with it, be chill, and be smart with how you say no to people if you have multiples. And that's probably all I've got to talk about today. So you guys keep crushing, keep banging out your hours, do your stuff. Thanks for listening to the show, and we'll see you on the next episode.
This is important. Before you go, you need to know that 2024 is going to be unbelievably competitive in the world of pilot hiring, and you need to make sure that you separate yourself from the herd. The only way that you can guarantee that you'll land your dream job is by partnering with Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. We are the only choice for application review and interview prep. We are the partners that you've been looking for from start to finish And it's never too early to be part of our community. Just go over to my website, spitfireelite.com, and use the coupon code R4P to save yourself 10% on all of our services. Again, that's the letter R, the number 4, and the letter P to save 10%. So go out there and slay your interviews.